tuned in. I don't know whether my camera person is seeing exactly what I am saying. I'm hoping she's adjusting it further to make sure that we are in the right position. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and happy Good Friday. I hope you've had a pleasant day and you happen to go to church, or you had a lovely time praying and talking to your God. And I'm hoping as well that altogether the day has been amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribers, you are amazing. And those of you who are dropping by for the very first time, you're welcome to this channel where it's all about relationships, life on Friday. We do life, we talk about finances, we talk about leadership, we talk about relationships. And today we are going to be talking about polygamy. So tell a friend, share the link, and we will be able to discuss. It's a live podcast, so if you drop in any comment, it will be read, and feel free to express yourself because that's what it's all about, Friday nights. And today happens to be Good Friday. You are welcome. Those of you who have never been on the channel, you're so much welcome. I'm hoping that we'll have a good time together today, this Friday, Good Friday. I would say welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into love, relationships, and everything in between. So don't be surprised if we are talking about politics, if we are talking about relationships, because that all makes up life. And so that is where we are going to be dwelling. Today's topic is one that stirs up a lot of opinions and emotions. Polygamy. What is it really about? So if you have ever wondered about polygamy, if you're looking for a place to chat and laugh your head off or learn a few things here or there, join in. You'll be surprised as to how much fun you'll have together with us. As I wait on for others to join in, I'll share the link to those who have been waiting so that they can also be able to join in. Otherwise, you're so much welcome, guys. I hope that you'll be blessed. Audrey says hello. Hello, Audrey. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for always attending in person. I'm hoping Lillian will also come on board. Rogers, Jasper, Alan, Jamie, all you guys. And there's also these guys of Quality Marriage. I'm hoping they would also get on board and together we discuss polygamy. Now I've finished sharing. You can feel free to drop a comment, guys, and to share as well. You can call someone and let us have a good wind down of Good Friday. Good Friday is really special, and it's a special day where we remember that death of Jesus Christ. I mean, we were paid for. Our ransom was paid for by Christ on Good Friday, where he was nailed to the cross. I mean, he's a man who had not sinned, and yet he paid it all for our sake. So Good Friday is not something we should take light. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Today, the topic of discussion is not Good Friday, but rather polygamy. So I'll welcome you again. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into love, relationships, and everything in between. And today's topic is one that stirs up a lot of opinions and emotions. So don't miss. Tell a friend and tell that friend to tell a friend, because it will be fun and it will be enjoyable at the same time. There will be a lot of laughter, a lot of brainstorming, opinions exchanged. It's a live chat, so I will be able to read your comments. I'll be able to read your comments, and feel free to drop in as many comments as you want about polygamy. Otherwise, we will start. What is polygamy really? The things that we're going to be talking about is, why do some people choose it? Why do they choose polygamy? How does it affect love? We'll look at areas like you also let me know in the comments, what do you think about polygamy? I would like to really pick your brains and get to know what you think about polygamy. Have you seen it work? Would you ever consider it? Those are things that I would want to hear from you, whoever is listening in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you have enjoyed the chat. And if you want more real conversations about love and relationships, and when we finish this one, you can go on and drop in the comments and we'll talk about it, because Friday is dedicated to life. And that is when we talk about life experience, life in general. I mean, I'm talking about leadership, relationships, finances, investments, like anything that you could think of that is involved in life is what we'll be dealing with every Friday night. Our topic is picked, and this time round, Rogers is the one who picked the topic of discussion, which is polygamy. Now, why do some people choose polygamy? We'll go deeper into that one. How does it affect love, trust, and stability in a relationship? We will also deal with that one. So yes, let's talk about it. Polygamy. Polygamy is the practice of having more than one spouse at the same time. Most commonly, we hear about polygamy where one man most commonly we hear about polygamy where one man has multiple wives, but we also have not heard where a man has multiple husbands, because that is also there, where in this day and age nothing is off the plate. I mean, women are marrying women, so uh, we don't hear, and that one is called polyandry, where a woman has more than one husband. But again, there is a woman having more than one woman, because in this day and age, people are getting married, same-sex marriages, where you see men marrying men. But I don't know whether it's that common that a man can have more than one husband, or a woman can have more than one wife, and she is a woman as well. So those are not so common. And we'll just go through what is really common. Polygamy has deep historical roots. In many cultures, it was and it still is a way to ensure family, labor, social alliances, and even survival. So polygamy is still something that is held on to by so many. I don't know where you're coming in from, watching in from. So please let me know where you're watching in from, and drop in the comments your name and where you're watching in from, so together we can discuss polygamy. Polygamy in this present day raises a lot of questions, but it's not a new thing. It's something that has always been, and I think is here to stay, because it was there before many of us were, or all of us were, and it still is. But it is about culture, religion, ego. What is it about? Is it about culture, religion, ego, or freedom? Because people do things, yeah, they do things depending on the way they feel. So I need to know from you who are tuning in, is it about culture that people are going polygamous, or is it about religion that people are practicing polygamy, or is it about your own ego? You want to feel, great I mean, you line up your ladies there and you say, all those are my wives, all those are my husbands. I mean, I marry five, four of them, yeah? That would be polyandry. But is it about ego? Is it about freedom? Is it about religion? What is it about that people practice polygamy? We'll dig deep and try and find out what really polygamy is. Otherwise, I don't want to leave anyone behind. I'm waiting for others to come on board. Otherwise, you can let me know, whoever is watching in. Let me see in the comments who has sent and try and read some of these comments. Audrey says, hello, Alan. So good to know that you've tuned in. Thank you guys for your always devoted uh, support. Yeah, I mean, you're always there. Always. Thank you so much for tuning in. And those of you who are dropping by for the very first time, this is a live chat, and today we are discussing polygamy. So, welcome to the channel where we dive deep into love, relationships, and everything in between. But today, the topic we are going to be dealing with is polygamy, and it stirs up a lot of opinions and emotions. Polygamy, what is it really? Why do some people choose polygamy? How does it affect love, trust, and stability in a relationship? Those are some of the areas we are going to be talking about. So, in case you're interested in spending your Friday chatting, laughing, smiling, your sorrows away, yeah, this is the right place. And welcome to the channel. We are talking about polygamy as a practice. Uh, it is a practice of having more than one partner or spouse at the same time. Most commonly, we hear about polygamy where one man has five wives. But it is not common to hear that a man has married more than one husband, because again, in this day, nothing is off the plate. You find that men are marrying men and women are getting married to women. So which one is common? Is it polyandry where women, it's unheard of, but in some countries it's starting to pick up. And where I'm coming from, it is Uganda, and polygamy is more so of a religious thing. And I would want to know who is watching in, where you're watching in from. It's a live chat. Drop in your comment in the comment section, your opinion on polygamy, and together let us chat Friday away. Polygamy has deep historical roots. In many cultures, it was still and still is a way to ensure family labor, social alliances, or even survival in some cultures. But in today's world, it raises new questions. Polygamy raises new questions. It's about, and also we get to wonder, is it about culture? Is it about religion? Is it about ego or freedom that people really are going polygamous these days? We will handle the cultural and religious aspect or perspective of polygamy. In many parts of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, polygamy is legal and culturally accepted. In Islam, for example, a man can marry up to four women as long as he can treat them all equally. So, what happens to those cultures, to those settings where a man can think he can actually manage four women and then gets into it and finds out this one is quarrelsome, this one is a witch? What happens? I like to read comments. Hello, guys who have just tuned in. You're welcome. And Suna Josh. Yeah. You're very much welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a while since we last heard from you, Suna, but it's so good to know that you have tuned in today. We are talking about polygamy. Suna, let us know your opinion on polygamy and let me know where you're watching in from. Otherwise, the topic of discussion this Good Friday is polygamy. Some people are going for it because is it about culture? Is it about religion? Is it the ego for ego's sake, or is it because people are free? And I have seen a comment, so I want to read it. Suna says, iTunes 3. Yeah, I don't know whether this is iTunes 3. Oh, soon. I didn't understand what you meant, but I hope you can clarify. But so good to know that you've tuned in. And I hope you can stick around and give us some of your opinions on polygamy. Uh, like I said, there is the cultural aspect of polygamy, and this time around we're first going to handle polygamy in the cultural perspective and religious perspective. In many parts of Africa, like I was saying, Suna says, I can't tune you. I don't know. You can't hear me, you can't tune me. I don't know whether you can't hear me. If you can't hear me, my sound seems okay. I hope you are okay as well. Otherwise, my channel is on. If you might as well subscribe sooner, because if you do subscribe, you'll be able to get notification when we have dropped in a live or if there is any video that is showing. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that subscription button. You'll be able to get notification of videos as and when they drop in, even the lives as and when they are podcasted. Because every Friday at 9:50 we do a live podcast. And if you find the place interesting, go ahead, guys, and tune in. You will enjoy the podcast. Otherwise, I was saying in many parts of Africa, the Middle East and Asia, polygamy is legal and culturally accepted. In Islam, for example, a man can marry up to four wives as long as you can treat them all equally. But hey, let us not fool ourselves. Who can love four women at the same time and treat them equally? We are all different. There's this soft one that could need a little pampering. And there's this one who is hard and you really have to reach to the sky to get to them. So, and there's also this one who really doesn't care but loves that much as well. So I think it's unrealistic. You can give me your opinions on this one. It's a live chat. Go on and drop in the comment section and I'll get to know your opinion on this one. And Suna says Nina Okuliliza. Oh, thank you, Suna. Thank you so much. Otherwise, we are talking about polygamy, so I need to hear your opinions on polygamy. Yeah. In Islam, like we were talking about having four women, that's the maximum you can have. Now, how can you treat four people the same way? I mean, only the Muslims can do that because you can set off getting one, and then along the way, I don't know what drives you into getting another one, but then you get another one, and another one, and another one. I think treating them equally would be impossible because the first one would be like an old cloth that you go to when really there is no cloth to wear. You know, like when you have so many clothes and there's this one you first got that you don't wear anymore, but it's still there. And there's this one you got recently that you pay more attention to. I'm thinking that's how you treat these women or these ladies in your life. So, guys, go ahead. It's a live podcast. Let me know your opinion on polygamy. Is it something that is manageable? Is it something that is doable? Is it about culture? Is it about religion? Is it about ego or freedom? I need to know what your opinion is on this one. Otherwise, like I said, the Islams do it that way. But in contrast, many Western societies view polygamy as a taboo or even illegal. Some Western cultures, they take it really as being illegal. Why? Because modern relationships in the West largely are built around monogamy. So that's why we see polygamy as it's illegal, it's not something that should be, and people are shying away from it. One partner is how the Western culture looks at it. It's one partner, emotional exclusivity, that long life commitment is what we look at in monogamy. And so when it doesn't present itself that way, it's the day we are wondering why and how is it doable. Because there is a Muslim lady that I got to friend, and she told me that she's number two. Her husband went and got her as number two, and number one was not so happy about it. I know you can talk about preaching to the Muslim community, the girls, and it seems like it's something doable, but it's not so easy because I mean, anyone who loves anyone, you don't want to share. I like my soda, and so I drink it, and I want to drink it alone. I don't want to share it with everyone. That feels intrusive. So that is how many women would look at it, or how many men would look at it. Say, suppose a woman has more than one husband, and on hearing it's taboo. Oh my goodness. This lady told me that she went, this lady said that she went, there is someone who wrote a comment that I wanted to read. Abdul Hakim Wangale. You talked about having and then you stopped there. Please finish up because I don't know what you were talking about. And Audrey said, but sharing is caring. There are some things I am free to share, but there are some things that I feel like if I gave up, I can't. You know, like the heart is made different. It's not like that bottle of soda that I gave an example of. The heart is made different. It can care. It can love. It can, you know, care for so many people. I know love, sharing is caring, but how many of us would really love to share our, you know, that really thing that means so much to us? Anyway, I for one, I would find it hard if, especially, I knew that it's going on. I would find it hard to deal with, and I don't know whether I would have the grace to stay in there. But you people can go ahead and let me know in the comments whether it's something that is easy. Abdul Hakim, you can go ahead and share because I hear by the name. Maybe you can shed light into the Muslim community. Uh, and Suda says, like, want you can share. Like, what can I share? Oh, I can share many things. I can share my food. I can share my house. I can share clothes. I can even help you with my phone. But when it comes to a partner or a husband, that is not easy. For me, that's not easy. Anyway, I would like to keep to myself. I'm a bit selfish in that area. But sooner, if for you, you are okay, let us know that you are okay if your woman, you came home and your woman had four other husbands, whether that would rub off the right way. For me, it wouldn't. So that is why I'm saying I always put myself in someone else's shoes. Would I be able to handle? Is it something I can cope with? But if I cannot, then I'm telling you here and now, it's not something I would go for because I know it comes with a lot of challenges. I, for one, I wouldn't. So, Audrey, you can let me know if sharing is caring, whether for you are okay with it. I wouldn't. What about capital? Suna says, what capital are you talking about when they are sharing? You're sharing, you know, this partner with other people. What capital are you talking about? We are talking about polygamy, sharing. The thing is, we are talking about polygamy. That is the practice of having more than one spouse at the same time. Yeah. Most commonly, we hear that it's the men who have four wives, five wives, but we don't hear much about the polyandry where the woman has four husbands or five husbands. It's unheard of. It's starting to crop up, but on a minimal scale. Now, I don't know how you guys would cope. You can let me know in the comments if it's something that you can easily digest. I, for one, I can't. There's this Muslim lady that I was talking to. Oh, you're talking about starting a business. Okay, so now we'll handle that one. Today we are talking about polygamy, having more than one husband or one wife at the same time. But business, we'll talk about it. If it's the topic you want us to talk about, starting a business, yeah, you can let me know, confirm in the comments, and we'll discuss that next time, next Friday. If it's the one you want us to talk about, yeah, we can talk about business next time. But today we are talking about polygamy. Yes, I hope that is clarified. Otherwise, there is this lady that I was telling you about, a Muslim lady. She got married and was number two. And the first lady was not treating her very well. So she suggested to Al Hajj, Abdul, I was waiting for you to say something because your name is ringing all the bells in defense of this one. Let me hear what you said. You said, well, it's like this. One may be good and the other one is bad. If you show her the care but she doesn't respect you, you may be forced to look for another. Oh, so Abdul, I need to get this right. Does that mean you don't marry because you need more women in your life? You marry because one has disappointed you? Please explain on that one. I've always wanted, I was curious about polygamy. Why is it that a man can get more than one wife? Now, please explain more because you said one may be good and another one bad. Yeah, like that's what I thought as well. That you could marry a woman, you target to get to go for four, and the religion tells you that you should treat them equally. And if you marry this one and she's good, and then you get number two, and number two is a witch, or number two is quarrelsome, number two is dirty, then you choose to go for number three, and number three is worse. She's and not entertaining. She wouldn't want your family people around. She's ready to fist fight with you. I wanted to know why you really go for those numbers. So, Abdul, that would be nice if you explain and shed light more on that one. Because you said, well, it's like this, one may be good and the other may be bad. If you show her the care but she doesn't respect you, you may be forced to look for another. Does that mean if you marry one and she treats you right, she's respectful, you don't actually go for a second, third, and fourth wife? Because I thought when the money increases, then you see you can afford many of these ladies, and so you just collect and add to your treasure. You know, you just show off, these are my ladies, and once you line them up, like I saw the president of Tanzania when the husband, I think, when she was sworn in as president and she was sitting with her co-wives, it would look really amazing. I wouldn't go for that, but she did look really good. Okay, with all that, given the fact that she's the president, oh my goodness, it was nice to watch. I don't know how they keep it up, but in the cultural setting of Muslims, it's really acceptable. But there is this lady that I was telling you about. Her first co-wife is the one who was making it so hard for her. And so she suggested to Al Hajj to get number three. And when Hajj got number three, uh, it became worse because number one connived with number three, and they still pointed all the guns to number two, to the point that she ran mad. I mean, at one point, she undressed in her sitting room, got her basin filled with water when her kids are right there, and started washing, having a bath right in the living room until they got some family members in the house to help her stop, doing what she was doing. But all this was because of this whole getting a second wife, third wife. I think it's more pain than actually good. Abdul says something. I'll respond to Abdul's comments right away because he suits the topic that we are discussing about. Abdul says she turns around to you, to your mother and relatives, so you may be pushed to another. Or is it? So is that the reason? Because I really was wondering, why do people go for second? I mean, no, but Abdul shed light. Why is number two not enough? Or say like, okay, the first one was not good. Then you went to number two, and then number three, then number four. Is it really because of this, or is it because, like you have clothes and they wear out and you want to change and have, a new wardrobe? Is it something like that? Because after being with someone for some time, you really get used to each other and they cease to be that spark that turns on your light. I'm thinking that's the excuse you get, and then you go for a second, third, fourth. But Abdul, you're bringing it in a way that it's us women who are driving you into getting the second, third, and fourth wife. Please shed light. And anyone else who is watching, it's a live podcast. Go ahead and drop in the comments. We will read your comment and get to know also your opinion on this topic of polygamy. As Abdul is trying to shed more light, we will continue. We will wait for Abdul to shed light whether it's because all these men who have more than one, is it because of the reasons you've given, or is it because of similar reasons? I thought it's a religious thing, or it's because uh, you are helping God because there are so many women, and as quote unquote, because I've had many people say there are so many women and very few men, so the men go for more than one in order to help out the ladies who are single. Though I don't think you are everyone's helper. Really, you should find your missing rib and settle down with that one. That's my take. But you can go ahead in the comments. Let me know what your take is on polygamy as a way of living. And this lady had to, the Muslim sheikhs had to come in to try and sort out things. Otherwise, things had gotten really out of hand. It is really not easy for someone to love more than two people. I even don't know how you handle, like if I get to know you have gone off and then you've gone off to not to just go off and work, but you've gone off to be with someone else. I think it is so easy for this party that is left behind to also try and look the other way. What do you think? I think that's likely to happen a lot because the other party is very much aware as to where this person is, and that doesn't sit very well. So they are always quick to run off. Let me know in the comments what your take is on polygamy. In contrast, many societies view polygamy as illegal and a taboo. Why? Because modern relationships, like in the West, are largely built around monogamy. Monogamy, where it is fidelity, one person. It's exclusivity, it's long life commitment, it's emotional, it's you're my partner, not anyone else's. So it's got mixed opinions. Abdul says after getting number two, the first one will get to know that she was on the rocks, so definitely she will come down a bit. But then why do you go for number three? Are you trying to teach number two as well? And then why do you go for number four? Is it that you're teaching all of them that they can easily be replaced? I even wonder, most of the time when I meet Muslim friends, I ask, when you're sick, who do you choose to go and have, nurse you? Because if you're in a polygamous relationship, I would be like, you are not with me when you are well. I will not take care of you when you're sick. You go to the other person that you've been spending much of your time. But mostly in the Muslim community, when Al-Hajj gets sick, Al-Hajj goes off to number one. And number one is the one who normally, nurses the wounds and, takes care of you. I don't know how that works. I would think if I'm going to be there for you, you have to be there for me. I know you guys can think that material things like buying food on Eid, and buying me a hijab is enough. And so you can come home when you're sick and I'll take care of you. I think that doesn't work very well. You can actually Abdul, shed more light. We would really love to hear from you. Otherwise, one partner is how it's looked at in the Western culture, exclusivity and long life commitment. But religion and culture aside, what happens emotionally in polygamous relationships? I really need to know. Those of you who are watching, it's a live podcast. Go ahead, drop in the comments, and we will be able to read your comments sooner. I know you wanted to talk about setting up businesses, but also you can give your opinion on polygamy. And Audrey, I need to hear. Lillian, if you're out there, Rogers, you're the one who suggested polygamy. So I'm waiting to hear your opinion on polygamy. Remember, guys, polygamy is not only for men. There is what they call polyandry, where women have more than one husband. Though that is not heard of so much. Because how can you juggle husbands? I mean, we're not talking about partners. We're talking about husbands where it's official, you went through all the ceremonies and you're married. That is not so common as opposed to uh, polygamy, where really these men go out and in different cultures do all the traditional ceremonies and the religious ceremonies, and it's official. Number one gets to hear, number two gets to, my goodness, in the religious sect, the Christian sect, if someone did it, it would be just sneaking behind curtains. It's not official. It's taboo. It's illegal in most culture, in the Western culture. But religion aside, that's what I wanted to find out, and culture aside, what happens emotionally? Abdul, maybe you can explain what happens emotionally in polygamous relationships. How do you people cope? Abdul, so thank you so much for keeping those comments. And you said, but another thing is that if someone has enough money, it makes him to get new ones. So it's a question of money. I wanted to hear that comment as well because when you can afford something, you end up having even things you don't really need, but because you can afford them. I mean, I've seen myself when I have money, then I go and get, things that we really don't need, but because I could afford them. So is that what it means for the Muslim community when money increases? So money becomes that push that takes you to a different height where it's now your pride, to have more than one because now you're in position to take care of them. Now I understand. Okay, so should we pray, Abdul, that the Muslims don't get money so that ladies can keep their men to themselves? Is that what we should pray, or is that what all the Hajatis should pray for so that they could stay number one? I mean, I want to hear Abdul, yeah? Religion and culture on the side. What happens emotionally in polygamous relationships? Do you really love these four people all equally? Do you really, really love them equally? Because the religion allows you to have more than one of up to four wives as long as you will treat them all equally. So if you're not going to do that, how is that handled in the religious area? Is it going to be acceptable that you love one more than the other? Because we are different. You can marry five sisters and they are all different. One is soft spoken, another one is aggressive, one is, one of those that really don't care. And there's this one who takes things the way they come. So it is so easy to fall in love with different beats. Does that mean you don't in the culture religious section or perspective? Muslims do not fall in love. They just have to work hard, get that money, and get a new woman they want. Abdullah would still point all the guns on you to explain on these ones whether what happens emotionally in polygamous relationships. Do these women really love you men? knowing you have other women, or do they put up a show for you? Please shed light on that one, because I don't think, truthfully speaking, you can love someone who you know loves someone else. We all want to love and be loved. And it is different if I'm loving and you're loving on someone else. It's actually, I can't do it. So kudos to all the women, Muslim women who do it, and those who do it because of culture. Kudos to you. The moment I find out, I feel I can't take it, so I would opt out. But those who know and still hang in there, kudos to you. That is something I wouldn't even, if I got to know, have the grace to stick to. So those of you who have done it, I need to know, is it doable? How is it emotionally? How does it impact emotionally on people who are in polygamous relationships? Abdul, do all these women still love or show love to you, one person? Or do they act like they care when they really don't, and they wait for the money to run out? Because I've seen so many relationships of Muslim relationships where Haji has sick. There's this one that is really funny. I was a very good friend told me of a story where they were at school, and their father, it was visitation day, and parents had come to visit their children. Now this Haji comes around in a bus, with a van, sorry. It actually wasn't visitation day, it was pickup day when school closes. So he came around with those big Muslim cars, and the moment you say your name, you get in. You say your name, you get in with your belongings. So there's this one who was getting in, and Haji asked, "Who are you? And who is your mother?" And the boy said, "It's this and this one." "Oh, you are also here." He really had no clue. Now, from that day, people at school were laughing at this boy and making fun of him, saying, your father doesn't even know you. Acknowledge who your mother is. And you're here saying you also have a father in this world. So, how does it affect emotionally polygamous relationship? How do they affect emotionally? Abdul says, you may try to show them love, but it can't be 100%. Abdul, now you're being real. You're being real, and thank you, because I thought there's a way you guys can, tune and show 100% to everyone. Then why do you go for it if you can't show 100%? Because if I'm not getting 100 and I see my core getting 100%, guess what will happen? I will start acting up, because I'll demand my 60%. Say, like I've been getting 40, I will demand my 60%. So, how does it happen? And as ladies, we can really cause havoc. Yeah. If I get to know that my man has more than one wife, guess what? When it comes to asking for things from him, I will not even have any empathy or sympathy for him. Why? Because I know if I don't ask for these things, he's going to have money to spare and give it to number three or number four. So I might as well ask even for the things I may think I'll need, even when I don't need them. So you see how it works? You end up having strife all the time. I don't even know how you do it. Kudos to all the men that are doing polygamy and the women who are juggling to more than one man. That is not easy. It's not easy. So, guys, go ahead as well and drop in the comments. I know I'm pointing all the guns to Abdul, but I know there are other people who are watching in that are Muslims and have their opinions as well, or are practicing polygamy. I just need to know, is it something doable? Has it worked for someone and it was successful? Do you know anyone who, is practicing polygamy and things look really good for them? Because the stories I've had and the stories I know about polygamy are not so good. Uh, I just want to know, have you seen it work? Has polygamy worked for anyone? Would you ever consider polygamy? I need to know what your opinion is. It's a live podcast. Go ahead and drop in the comments. Abdul, kudos. You said, but if they are two, only it's easier to control. That is at least making more sense. But four was crazy. I mean, it's outrageous. Four is a big number. We all come with our different baggage. I can come in with my relatives who want this on this, and the other wife came in with also a large family that is looking for you to provide. So at the end of the day, even when you came home with $1,000 or 1 million shilling, tearing it up between all these people would leave you with nothing. I don't know how you would work tirelessly all through your life because you have to keep up with all these families members that you have to make glad, especially if you're coming from the African sect. But I think not only in the African, because actually in the African, yeah, society where people live communal and you marry me, you marry my entire family. You marry my sister. Sorry, you marry me and you have to take on my uncle, my cousin. Anyone can drop in at any time and need your help financially. So I think it puts a lot of pressure on a man when you're doing polygamy, even on a woman if you're juggling more than one husband. And I like the way Abdullah said, if you're doing two, only it's easier to control. I know, but four is outrageous and it's unbelievable. It doesn't actually sound and seem real if someone is doing two wives at the same I mean four, three, even two, the other one gets to feel like she's a mistress. I don't even know how you divide your time. Abdul, maybe you can explain. How do you divide your time between two or four people? How do you divide your time? Because I could be with you, I need you when I'm sick, and I need you when I'm not also sick. My kids need you, and then she also needs you, her kids. How does that? I just want to hear how does polygamy, you know, what happens emotionally in a polygamous relationship? I just need to hear your opinions, guys. It's a live podcast. Go ahead and drop in the comments. And together, let us hear and build our lives. Today, the topic of discussion is polygamy, and you're welcome to drop any comment and we will read it. And here I wrote, because there's a time I spoke to a woman who had lived in a polygamous relationship, and she said one thing that happened to her was she started doubting herself. She felt like she was a failure. Yeah, she felt like she had failed her husband. That is why the husband had bought a second wife. It was about sharing his love, his attention, his time, and that to her gave her the stigma of I have failed. That is why my man is getting another one. So I don't know, Abdul, do you ever have ladies in the Muslim community who feel like they've failed? That is why. Because while you as a man, you think she was misbehaving, let me teach her by getting a number two or number three. She is stigmatized as someone who had failed. That is why she had to get a helper. But really, in issues of love, who would want help? You want the person to be you're with, to be there for you, to choose you at any time. Anytime you see things are changing up, you're like, okay, let's, maybe part ways, but not sticking there and just be number two. Number two is not easy. It's not easy for anyone. I know even when it comes, like I'll give an example. We had a sports day recently with my son, and then he said he it was raining. It rained the whole time. And so I told him, don't go running because it's wet and it's still raining. I might as well buy you a trophy so that you don't go in the rain and catch a cold and then we have to go nursing you. And he said, I have to work for what I've got. I can't get a trophy that I've not earned. So same applies to my heart. If I'm going to give it out there to someone, I want this person to earn it. We are in it together. He has chosen me, I've chosen him over everyone else. That is how I would look at it. But then if I'm in a relationship and there are other people, it already feels crowded. It feels like I'm in it, but with so many other people. So why should, have you ever lived in places where there's, communal washrooms? Everyone can go in there and they don't care how they look. Why? Because it's not one's responsibility, one person's responsibility to make sure that the washrooms are clean. But if it's in your house, it is paramount that it is key. Why? Because it's yours and you know it is yours alone. So I'll give you all my care. I'll give you all my love because I know you're giving it back in return. But if it's any other way around, I wouldn't because I know someone else will do what I've not done. And I think it gives, a lot of mediocratic love. It's not all the way, it's a bit of it, but not all of it. I don't want to pour myself out to someone who doesn't deserve, someone who is not pouring back the full measure that I'm using to pour in. Abdullah said, well, it's like this. If there is anything wrong on the other side, I may tell her and she understands. Number two, you think? One thing, Abdul, you need to know about us women is we can really act. We really can act. Yeah? I can be mean to your children, but when you come home, I'm the best wife you've ever been with. And so you will not even believe the kids because I will have put up a show for you that is unbelievable. So same applies to if it comes between a man and woman, especially those times when you're trying to get each other. I can be all smiles, all understanding, all caring until something happens and the reality is revealed that actually I'm not always smiling. In the lockdown, that is when many things were unveiled. There are some men who couldn't stay at home and they would go walking and sit by the roadside and find many other fellow men and play, Ludo and all those board games. Why? Because they couldn't stand staying at home. They didn't know how to relate with their wives because all they have known is they come in as providers and that's as far as it is. But it's good when we take time to invest in our relationships. And a polygamous one is not one that allows us to really invest deep into relationships. And this lady said that she felt like she had failed. It was about sharing his love, his attention, his time, because he's at my house for just a few days or an hour or for a few hours and he's off to someone else's. So I think polygamy is up to us to really choose whether it's what we want or if it's not. And there's another man who said that having multiple wives is exhausting. Abdul, you'll tell me this whether it's true or if it's not. And that it's exhausting, not just financially, but emotionally. Abdul, I would request that you shed light, and anyone else who is on that is got any idea has gone through a polygamous relationship, you go on and tell us in the comments. Let us know whether you agree that polygamy is exhausting or having multiple wives is exhausting, not just financially but emotionally. Each wife is a whole world you need to care for. That is how he put it. That it's really exhausting. It's like each wife is a whole world that you need to take care of. Can you imagine a world? Because all of us are different. I mean, I could be understanding, but my core is not. She is demanding. I could be prayerful, but my core is not. She's actually into something deeper than you would ever think is deep. So that is his take. He said it's like taking care of a whole world, a whole other world. That is how he put it in his words. That it's like taking care of a whole world, a whole new world altogether. Multiple relationship because everyone brings different drama, different things to the table. But that is the man taking it, seeing it that way. I don't know if there are any ladies that have been in polygamous relationships, how they are finding them or how they found them in case they are not in them anymore. It's a live chat, guys, and I'll continue reminding you. Feel free to drop in the comments your experience on polygamy. Otherwise, I'm waiting on Abdul to let us know about that opinion that someone has aired of taking polygamy, as he said he finds it exhausting, not just financially but emotionally. That it's like a whole world that you need to take care of. Abdul, please explain. Maybe it feels like a whole world that you need to take care of because he doesn't have enough money, like Abdul said, or he just doesn't know how to juggle. He's not good with his hands like juggling would go for polygamous relationships. Some women, however, found a sense of sisterhood. They co parent, they manage households. There are those, I mean, there's this gentleman they were showing on TV that he had about 20 women and they were living as sisters, giving birth to children and raising them up as a community. One cleans, the other cooks, others go and sell things at the market. I don't know what your take is. And Alan has dropped a comment and he says, but what does the Bible say about polygamy? Because David and Solomon have had polygamous relationships. Now, if we are going to look at it in the Bible sense, Solomon had 1,000 women in his life. Now, if we have been looking at the Muslim brothers, oh my goodness, Solomon had 1,600 wives, 600 wives and 400 concubines, if not vice versa. That was a lot. But guess how many kids Solomon had? They were 5. Yeah. Auntie Dina, thank you so much for coming in and tuning in. And Solomon had those many ladies in his life. But at the end, he said he found everything empty. And he says, cleave on to that woman of your youth. Yeah, that is what he said, and he recommended. And may her chest be enough for you. I mean, if you are to read Songs of Solomon, you would be surprised as to what Solomon says about the many wives and his experience with all of them, because he later found out that they were not any good. David had many, but because he was a king, guys, remember David was a king. Yeah, we are not kings in our day-to-day life. So if we decide to live like kings, well, we'll have, like Abdul said, you have to have a lot of money to be able to pull that off. And Abdul said, plan for tomorrow in the way that if you lose your spouse at a later stage, you may find it hard to get another one. Hey, so Abdul, what are you trying to say? You said plan for tomorrow in a way that if you lose your spouse at a later stage, you may find it hard to get another one. Abdul shed light on this one because I really didn't understand you, and I would really love to understand this bit. But going back to Alan, where he talked about what does the Bible say? The Bible says, for this reason should a man leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife or husband together. And that is what it says. It does not say husbands, it does not say wives. It puts it for this reason shall two become one. A man should leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. He does not say wives. And again, if we go back in the Bible days, where we look at Adam and Eve, God did not create Adam and then later made him go to sleep and created wives. Oh my goodness, that is deep if we are going to look at it that way, like Alan was saying. He created for him a mate, and that was one woman, which is Eve. Because the Bible would have said he created Eve and Jessica and Mary and Markev. You know, he created Adam and Eve. That is his intentional plan. That is what he had intended that marriage would be as. But out of the greed, out of the lust and love for ourselves, we have gone on and had many, but that doesn't make it right. Solomon did, and in the end, you see, he regrets his life. And David did, to the point that at some point, one of his sons slept with his wife, with his woman. Some of these things bring about different things on the plate. There's a lot of incest going on, a lot of abuse going on. So polygamy has its good bit. Like I said, the sisters say they found a sense of sisterhood, they co-parent and manage household chores. So those are some of the things that have come out of polygamous relationships. And together build a shared life that goes beyond romantic love, with their co-sisters. It is a complicated emotional terrain of jealousy, I would put it, competition. That is how I look at it. Loneliness, but also there's that community support. Let's not forget these ladies who have been in polygamous relationships have tried to make them work, and guess what they have done? They have built a community where their kids go to the same school. I mean, you go to a school and Haji's kids are about 50 in the school, and if they are to have a party, it's just them. It's a community kind of system that has been set up, and there is good support in there. You don't lack for him. Though there are those who Abdul still you tell us on this one. There are ladies that have raised up their children because Haji can. I mean, if you're a man, you cannot take care of these children. I mean, you're having one lady 12, another one 9, another one 6, another one 4, 3, 2, 5. That is such a big number that you cannot really pay close attention to your children. So they end up, feeling like you let them down, especially like the example I gave you of a gentleman who came to school and the boy was boarding the van, and the father said, "And who are you? And who is your mother?" And the boy had to explain to him about himself about. Sorry, he had to say something about himself to his father, and everyone after that, when he came back to school, was making fun of him, saying, "You're here bragging, and your father doesn't even know your name. Later on, your mother." And that was not something good. So I bet you this boy grew up and decided that he would never ever get into a polygamous relationship, or if he did not learn from there, he's really a wasted polygamist. It's a live podcast, guys. Go ahead and drop your comments. Let me know what you think about polygamy, and if you know whether it works, why do people go for it? Is it about the ego? Is it about religion, culture? Or is it because of the, freedom? You feel it's your right, you're free to do whatever you want, and so people go for, more than one spouse. Let me know. Otherwise, for me, the ladies that I've talked to, it seems like a common thing when they compete. It encourages competition between them. They say they feel lonely because today your partner is around and tomorrow is not. Abdul, you're quiet. I need to hear your take on this one. And also, they've talked about the community support, because you have your co-wives to talk to about your husband's weaknesses. You have your co-wife to tell, you know, to share with what is lacking at home, because sometimes we ladies like to talk about everything. I don't understand it. I don't know why people do it, but some people do that. And you can drop in the comments and let me know. Does polygamy work in modern relationships? That is the area of discussion now. So, can polygamy work today? I need to hear, guys. Can polygamy work today? It's a live podcast. Go ahead and drop in the comments your take on this. Can polygamy work today, or is it a thing of the past? In the modern world, can it really work? Because before, the ladies didn't go to school, and so they were married off young and they had nothing to their name. So before, ladies would just stomach anything. Your husband would come home and say, "That is your co-wife." And some of these relationships, the ladies would live in the same house. So there would be a master bedroom where the the husband would go off to at night, and if you're invited in there, then it's your turn to go in there. But if it's not, then you stay in your room or with the kids until it's your turn to spend time with him. It is ridiculous, but that is a thing that used to happen in the past. But now, ladies are working, they are learned, they've got their own money, they've built something for themselves. Is it something that still works? I need to know, Abdul. Is polygamy a thing of the past, or is it still in the modern society? I'm using Abdul a lot because I know Abdul is a Muslim, but also Dina. I know you're tuning in. Let me know in the comment section what you think about polygamy. Is it something that works? Is it something that worked then and is not working now? Is it, do you know anyone who has lived in a polygamous relationship and it has worked for them? I, for one, I think I'm still wondering why people go for polygamy. Is it because of ego? Is it because of culture? Is it because of religion? Or because of the excess freedom these days? Because now everything we're talking about is my right. It's my right. I can do whatever I want. With the ladies, it's called polyandry, where you marry more than one husband. So does polygamy work today? I need to hear. Guys, you're watching and I see you on there. Drop in the comments. It's a live podcast. Let me know what your take is on polygamy, the topic of discussion today. Otherwise, for some, yes, when it is consensual in the modern society, I think polygamy still works when it is consensual and transparent and rooted in mutual respect. It has to go that way. Either it's consensual, whereby I also agreed to get into a relationship with a person that I know is already married, or I got into this relationship knowing the man I'm getting married to is a Muslim. And Abdullah said, these days it doesn't work normally because the situation which is hard in getting money. I'm a bit excited, Abdul, on that one because really it should fade out. Truthfully speaking, whether you're Muslim or not, it is best when you really love someone. Like I said, and Abdul, you said it as well, that maybe two there you can control, but more than that, it's impossible. So I'm glad money is becoming a factor in this one, and people are not diving so fast into polygamy. And Dina says, hey, yeah, Dina, hey, I need to hear your opinion on polygamy. Is it something that worked in the past, or is it something that people still that would survive today? Because today ladies are working. I mean, before mothers would be married off at 13, at 12, and they would have no choice but live in these loveless marriages because they are not educated, they have no work experience. But now the ladies are going off to school, they are actually doing something about their lives. And you see, the men are now realizing that, and they are just laying eggs and flying off like grasshoppers. You have kids and don't take care of them, and the mother will take, because the mothers are now learned, they are educated, they are hardworking. So that is what is causing a slow death to polygamy. I really hope it can die and die from the root. Why? Because it's not fair on either parties, whether it's the man who is having to go through it or it's the woman having to go through polygamy. Because on the man, the other one said that polygamy could be a polygamous relationship would be like taking on another whole world and you're responsible for it. Let me read Dina's comment. Dina says the Bible says that in the later days, 6 women will cling to one man. Maybe it's why it's happening. Who knows? Because it's really crazy that 6 women could cleave to one man. It's unheard of. There is no way you can love genuinely someone is loving on others, other 5 of you. And Rogers, you have been late. I don't know where you've been. Good evening. And thank you so much for dropping by. I was wondering, you brought the polygamous title, but you are not anywhere. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you say, ha, where is Lydia Tayagala Polygamy? I don't know where she is. I thought you had sneaked off with her because she wasn't on, you are not on. So I was wondering, where is Rogers and where is Lydia? But thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you give us your opinion on polygamy. Like I said before, is polygamy something that is it something that people do because of their ego? Is it because of culture? Is it because is it because of religion, or is it because of the excess freedoms that we now have? And I was also asking, uh, polygamy, how does it affect emotion? How does it run emotionally in polygamous relationships? Emotionally, how are emotions involved in polygamous relationships? And Roger says, I let go of him. Okay, that's okay. But I was wondering, also, I need to hear your opinion on polygamy. And the question was, does polygamy work in modern relationships? Because we've handled the bit of religion, where it's permitted in religion or in the religious perspective, it's permitted to have up to 4 wives as long as you can treat them equally. And Abdullah said, well, it is possible if at least you can control it if it's about 2 ladies. And Abdullah said, uh, these days it doesn't work normally because the situation is hard in getting money. Now, Rogers, you can also give us your opinion on this one. Does polygamy work in modern relationships? I said yes, it works today when it's consensual. In other words, you've agreed to getting married to a man who has more than, or is going to have more than one wife. And this was brought to you from get go, and you are okay with it. It has worked, and it works actually for those who are get into it knowing exactly what they are getting into. And also, if there is transparency, I mean, you come to me, you say you are interested in me, but you already have a woman. And if I agree to that, if I agree to that madness, then it can work because I'm ready mentally for the madness of polygamy. It can also work uh, if it is rooted in mutual respect. You respect me. You will not bring that woman in my house. You will not make us live in the same house. I think it can work for some people because there's a lady that I met that said, as long as the man buys for me food for a month, pays my rent, fuels my car, buys me a car, or builds me a house, he can take his time. He can come after 2 months. But do you think this woman really is into this guy or is into the money? I think that is not love. It's in what you can do to provide and make her life comfortable because she needs her car fueled. She needs her rent paid or her house bought. She needs her car. And if you can do all this, you can come and pass by every once after 3 months. I don't think that is love. So, like Abdullah said, it's not working very well these days because of the money aspect. And polygamous families also can be functional and loving, but for others, especially when it's forced, it is one-sided. So like I'm forced to get married to a man and become number 3. My goodness, that is forced. It is likely not to work. But if you got into it consensually, I think it can have a go because you are mentally, physically, spiritually prepared for it. But when you're not, then it looks like it will not work out. It also leads to emotional damage. That kind of polygamy or polygamous living, it leads to emotional damage. where you are emotionally damaged. You get to think, like I told you this lady who said the moment her husband brought number two, she thought she had failed. And she said, I felt like a failure and I I I just wanted out. I didn't understand why that had happened. So it can cause emotional damage. It can also break your trust because if I'm married to you and then you go off and get number two, then I get to hear you got number three. It's like, why would I trust you again? Trust me, I've talked to several women. They have said, I would milk you like they milk a cow dry. You come to my house when it's my turn, and I'll tell you all the things that we don't have. Even the things that we already have, I will ask for them again. Why? Because you've not provided, you've not given me unconditional love and attention. You've split it between three people. So any money that I leave with you, you're going to give it out anyway to someone else. It's not for our built future. So I'll milk you like they milk the cow. And Rogers says polygamy has advantages and disadvantages accordingly. I need to hear the advantages from you, Rogers, because I think you are for it. Let me hear your advantages for starters, because I'm yet to hear someone who has lived a polygamous relationship and is happy. I need also to hear from Dina, from Audrey, from Treasure, from Lillian, Abdul, Alan. You guys should drop in the comments. Let me know, guys. It's a live podcast, and you can go ahead and drop in the comments what you think about polygamy. Do you think it can survive our modern day life living? I said it leads to emotional damage. Emotionally, you're damaged. You start doubting who you are. You start doubting who you're with, your purpose in life. You start wondering whether there's anything they call love, because it can't be one-sided. It has to be that the person that you love is loving you back. The person you're giving this unconditional attention and care is caring for you in return. Because it's an example. You get a cup filled with water and you just try pouring. The moment you pour and pour and pour, and you run dry. And when you run dry, you want someone to refill you. And if it's not being reciprocated, I think it wouldn't work. I would think also, other than polygamy bringing about broken trust, it can also add to inequality. Because Abdul said you cannot treat all of them the same. And because of that, I'm thinking it's already unbalanced. I don't know where, Rogers, you've been, but I think you've had a pleasant Good Friday. I hope you have managed to sneak in prayers in that one. You managed to, spend quality time with family, or you managed to get online and talk to family, because it's paramount that we show the ones that we love that we actually do love them. You brought the topic of polygamy, so I thought you'd be the first one on here, but I'm so still glad you came in and you tuned in. I hope you will watch a rerun of what you've missed later. Polygamy challenges the idea that one person can be our everything, because in the modern day setting, you think you find this person and this person becomes your everything, you know he's your lover, your friend, uh, your partner in crime. He becomes your everything. But polygamy shakes all that up, because if I get to hear there's number two, number three, number four, guess what? I would start thinking we are so many in this one. I gave an example of washrooms. If a washroom is used by more than two people, it's a public place. Guess what? I will mess it up and not care how it looks afterwards. But if it's in my house, it's just for me, then I'll make sure it's always clean, smelling right, looking right. Why? Because it's mine. Now, if you're my man, I'll make sure you're looking right. I'll make sure things are working right. But if I get to know, share you with, the other woman across the road and the other one in another town nearby, it doesn't give off the same vibes like my daughters say. The vibes are actually different with a polygamous relationship. But is that even realistic when someone says, "You're my everything"? Is it realistic? Because some people say, how can someone become your everything? It's impossible for someone to become your everything because, you have more to life than this person. But again, two people find each other and connect on levels that are unexplainable, and you can't function without the other. I know of a couple that died even the same day. They had been together for, I think, some really good time. And when the husband died, when the wife died, the husband got the news and died as well in the evening. So they buried both of them the following day. Can you imagine? And it wasn't like it was poison or they took their lives. The other one got the news, got a heart attack, and was out. So I don't know whether it would work out for the Muslim or the polygamous community where you have four ladies and they get to hear you're dead and they all die. Abdul will have to shed light on that one. And Audrey says, I would say it is realistic for someone to say, "You're my everything." Oh, that is sweet. And I would like to hear more of that. I hope Dina can also say the same, or Treasure, or Alan, or Lydian. You're quiet if you're out there. I need to hear you. Rogers, is it right, like Audrey has said? I would say it is realistic for someone to say, "You are my everything." Now, that's what I would know monogamy would do. But polygamy, I don't know if, like I gave an example, the woman died in the morning and the husband died in the evening. Because once he got to know the news that his wife had passed, he just got a heart attack. It was more than he could bear and died that same day. If you go to their burial grounds, you'd see they have the same date of death. Can you imagine such connection? Now, I wonder whether that happens in the Muslim community where Haji passes and all the Hajjats, just park out, four of them or five. Because some of them, the few that I've heard from, they actually just are glad and they first go to the saloon, make themselves up just so they look right as widows for the past, for the late person. And I would like to read what Audrey says. Having someone who makes you feel loved, noticed, and cherished makes them feel like they are your everything, because without them you would feel empty, bored, and sad. Oh my dear. I, Audrey is my kind of girl. That's how I would actually feel. And I would concur 100% on that one. Let me read what Alan has said. I would agree with Audrey. My wife is my everything. Oh, oh my goodness. Now this guy is getting really touchy. I need to hear from Abdul as well and Rogers. How does it feel if you're in a polygamous relationship? Does it still feel like if these ladies were not around, you are finished? Because it gets to a place. There is a man who used to take me around on a border in Uganda. Guys, this program is running from Uganda. There's a gentleman who used to ferry me around when I'm on a border from one place to another, and he told me that uh, he's got four kids with three different women, and he's planning to build himself a house and move in and leave all these women by themselves. And he was planning that once he moves, he will move in with just his kids and leave all these women in their lives, you know, to themselves, not to come in his life to mess it up, so that he can get old in his house with just his kids. Now, I saw that as sick. He already had gone polygamous, enjoyed what he enjoyed with these ladies who are bringing variety. Like you eat food and there's greens, cassava, potatoes, rice, pasta, chapat, chicken, you know, groundnuts. All these are, you're likely to have stomach upset because you mix so many things. Now, I think he made his bed when he got involved with all these ladies. And now he just wants to become old and grey alone with just his kids. I don't know whether the kids are ready to leave their parents and come and be just with their dad because they have, remember, different mothers. And Dina says, so for me, I think there is no genuine love nowadays. Oh, that is sad because I think there is. I think there is genuine love. It's just that when people are polygamous, I come to you and I pose as though I'm into you, and then you find out you have someone else. That alone makes pokes holes in a relationship, and immediately the person who would thrive or grow deeper and deeper in love with a person just starts to shy away and close off doors. Before you know it, there's nothing like love. And Revenge says, I support polygamy culture because I need to deliver birth from different women. Oh my goodness. Rogers, there's something they call, what? They call it greed. Yeah, there are so many women. And again, I don't want to take you off your goals of having different children or different women. And there is a man who said he was getting this girl and he said, I want to have 10 children with you because right now you just met, I have two now, and you have one. I want us to have seven more together with you. And to me, that looked unrealistic. Why? Because the man had no wallet to sustain seven other kids, later on add on to make 10. You know, and Rogers, now you have to really work hard. Unless you're going to work up to your old age. I don't know how old you are, but you have to work until old age to be able to sustain those many women and their many children. And Jamie says, yes, I used to feel insecure about myself. And when I met this guy, he made me feel like the prettiest person in the world. And with him, I can go out and not care about anything. See, but I hope that man who took you out and made you feel like you're the prettiest, yeah, is not telling it to other people because that day you find out, you then find like you'll be like Dina, who has said she doesn't believe there's real love these days. And Dina says, but Jamie says, so I would say he is my everything. Sweet. And Dina says, but all in all, polygamy is a great spark of poverty and early death because it births jealousy. That is very true. I mean, there is this lady that I gave you an example of who her co-wives, number two and number one, connived or collaborated and did some craft on her, and she went mad and dressed in the sitting room while the kids were there and started having a bath, and they tried to stop her, but she was unstoppable until they brought in the Muslim leaders who performed some kind of thing and were able to stop her and get to the root of it, found out it's number one and number three that had done that to her. So it's really not something easy to digest that there's another a co-wife. It can really birth jealousy. And Audrey says, but I feel polygamous relationships could work as as a mother. Don't you love all your children the same? Why not partners? Oh my goodness, I love my kids. Yeah, from here to the moon and back. But guess what? That love is for my kids, not for my co-wife. Like I said, I don't like sharing. Not sharing a man. I don't like sharing a man. I like to have him all to myself. I give him all and he gives back his all. So if it's the other way around, kids I can give because they are my kids. But as a mother, like you said, Audrey, I would give my all. because they are my kids. They came from me. Whether they are good or bad, I would love them all the same. But these are the co-wives. Like Dina said, they come with uh, jealousy, they practice spells, the curses, oh my goodness, the list is endless. And it's a spark of poverty, if I may put it, like she said. So I wouldn't be for that. And Roger says, at other side, polygamy create family breakthrough. There is a woman I have saying, nze sifuna na muja wange. Nze sifumba na muja wange. Rogers, now you tell us, what do you think on this one? How can it create family breakthrough, Rogers? There is a woman. Is there a woman? No, you said there is a woman have saying, nze sifumba na muja wange. I don't know what to say on this one, but I would say, Rogers, it is not easy. It is not easy. The moment you get wind that there's someone else, guess what you do? You pull out. Even if, Rogers, you loved a woman so much and you got to know she's got someone on the side, she's playing actually other guys or another guy or two guys, you would pull out. Even when you like, unless you're cuckoo and you're okay, to fine dine with everyone. And Alan says, but Dina, not all love or true love is dead. You have maybe not met the good guys who love with all their hearts. Hey, Alan, you can tell us about those good guys who love with all their hearts and explain to Dina, because she's yet to find them. Probably she's had the crooks come to her or polygamous men, and she later found out they were married, and she just, realized there's no true love out there. Yeah, yeah. Dina says some people think giving birth in different wives may be may be from one wife, they might be dull, and in the second one, they might be brilliant. That is some kind of thought. But like I said, it is just a thought, because brilliance does not come from space. Brilliance comes from two people. You are brilliant, I'm brilliant, we give birth to brilliance. But if you are dumb and I'm dumb, we will give birth to a dumb child. You know, if your brains are cooked somehow a certain way, my brains are cooked a certain way, we cannot expect to give birth to a rocket builder. Some of these things are in the pipeline. So we sometimes put so much pressure on ourselves. And you men make this mistake. You didn't go to school, you are not brilliant, you're actually slow, and you think you'll get a woman who give birth to a rocket builder, to a to a scientist. It is not so easy for that to happen. So really giving birth children or having children left, right, and center, hoping you'd get a better product, you first have to check yourself. How brilliant are you that you gave birth to one that is not? An example is a gentleman that is a celebrity in America. He had his wife and had 6 children. But then on the side, he went and those children he had, the 6 were all girls. And then he went on the side and had 3 with another lady, and they were all girls. And then he tried on the side again from the other 2 ladies and still had 2 girls. So they were making fun of him on TV, saying, I think his palms come out all pink. Now you see, some of these things are inbuilt. You may try to change them, but you're just going around spreading a seed that is already, damaged if you're damaged yourself. We can only help our children become better, help them become the best that they should be, but not go looking for brilliant. Like there's this man who told some lady that I know you've had 2 kids and those 2 kids were all boys, so I want you to get pregnant for me so you can get me a son or sons. And the woman assured him, yeah, that will be something that we'll work on. And once they got together, the woman gave birth to a girl. And he had already had a relationship with another lady, and it was a girl. So some of these things really are God given. It's God who decides who will come out as what. You can go around spreading your seed and still get a wrong product at the end of the day. Abdul says, putting all eggs in one basket is dangerous. You may lose all. No, Abdul. There's no way all your children can all die if we put it in as perspective of death. But I think you're just putting it like Dina said, that you could give birth to children that are all dull, and so the product comes out dull. But again, an apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. There is this lady who kept on saying, "This girl is ugly. This girl is ugly," and that was her daughter. Now, I asked her, before you go pointing fingers to her, how do you look? When you look at yourself, are you any prettier? Or is it that you've grown up and life has allowed you these luxuries? You can wear fine clothes and you think you're better than what she is now as a small girl. So really, an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And so you can never give birth to what you're not. If you're not handsome yourself, the wife you marry, if she's not pretty, the kids won't look any different. Yeah, but you can't go marrying every pretty woman out there, because beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Like it goes, no one is ugly. Everyone is beautiful. In their eyes, everyone is beautiful. In someone else's eyes, that is. Abdul, so I don't think it is putting eggs in one basket that you could lose all of them. It's really wanting to have everything. Like Dina said, uh, you know, polygamy can breed death easily. Because one thing that I've seen, we were here, I was with someone here, and I saw a lady that has covered up in a hijab, covered up very well and really looked decent. But she was coming out of a lodge. She came off a motorcycle and went in the lodge, and the gentleman she met was already in the lodge. And when they were done, they came out and met outside and were still talking as they were coming out. And I was thinking, is this the Haji that is gotten her into these hijabs, or is this someone on the side, since she knows Haji has number two, number three, or number four? So really, it can breed death easily, because I can be hurting, I'm lonely, and then go looking. And while I'm looking, remember you're also looking. And this can become a breeding ground for all kinds of things, which I don't think is good. And Alan says, but it's worth the try, Abdul, trying to put all your eggs in one basket. Alan is a man who has advised you, Abdul, that it's worth a try than having so many eggs. Like a bird, if it does not put all its eggs in one nest, it goes on laying. Just imagine you're a bird, you will go on laying your eggs in every corner of the house. Some of these eggs will not hatch. Some of them will be damaged because they didn't get the care they needed to hatch properly. Some of them will actually try to hatch on their own, and guess what will happen? They come out damaged. So if we are going to use the example of putting eggs in a basket, Abdul, you stand no chance on this one, because a nest that is got all the eggs, if nothing tampers with them, they are likely to grow, thrive, and breed nice breeds of birds that will fly off one day and give birth to a whole new breed of birds. But if you go on laying your eggs in every corner of the house, yeah, or the compound, some of them may be found by people who take care of the compound and may be broken. Some of them may be cut as you're cutting your hedge or grass. Some of them may be exposed to too much heat, they die. Some of them may be so neglected because they were they were laid in the wrong place. They may come out damaged. They may die because they didn't get the right ingredients or nutrients to thrive. So Abdul, I think you could borrow what Alan is said, that try putting all your eggs in one basket. And Abdul says, exactly, I meant to have dull and stupid children. You're not any different from what Dina said. That is why most men go for children in more than one woman. Now, stupid and dull children, those are strong allegations or strong words. First of all, Abdul, are you brilliant? An apple begets an apple. You've heard of the saying that the apple does not fall far from the tree. If you're brilliant, Abdul, find this one brilliant, find this one brilliant woman that has got brains and beauty together, and see if your child will come out dull and stupid. Really, this child will come out really nice. It's just that when we are looking to marry and settle, we look for different things. You men go looking for, she's got I come from Uganda, we call it work. Yeah. Where the woman comes maybe with the biggest breasts or the biggest hips or bums, but those do not, you know, put anything to the table except excitement for that time when you're with that person. So if you're going to look at brains and and not give birth to dull and stupid kids, then I think you should be looking somewhere else, looking for someone beyond just the looks. It should be their brilliance as well when you're looking. That is what I would say, Abdul. That way you get one person, one right one that has got the right qualities because they are very key to you. Then you go looking for someone who has got those, than going and looking for someone who has the looks but no brains, just so you can have that thirst quenched. And then you go looking for another who has brains but no looks. Again, that will be unbalanced. At some point, you find that even being with this person who has brains but has not got the other part that excites you, the relationship will be one-sided, will be, will not be balanced, and she will not tick off the right things in your life. So that is something to think of. Dina says, Abdul, that was a nice one. I don't know whether that was nice because I think all children are a blessing. Yeah, whether they are dull or stupid. But they are dull because they came from a stupid man and a dull man, not from a brilliant man and a brilliant woman. So if you're brilliant, you will find someone brilliant. If you're brilliant and you get someone who is dull, you will get a mediocratic kind of child, and that's okay. I mean, I come from Uganda, and I always use examples of our leaders. There are times we are swearing in some of these leaders, the MPs, and you're wondering, did they really go to school? Or did they go off to NASA and have these papers fetched? Yeah, there are those times you wonder. Why? Because of the way they reason, the way they do so many things. You really wonder whether they really went to school like MPs should be. So you get to realize that they are in those positions not because they went to the best schools, they were the most brilliant, but luck and life happened, and there they are as your MPs. So even when your child is not the brilliant kind, when your child is not the fastest but slow, you never know what destiny has in hold for that guy, that kid. So you love them anyway and trust and pour in all that you have to pour in them. And it's like watering a plant. You're giving it what it needs, the right nutrients, and see how it comes out. Have you ever taken care of a plant and given it all the fertilizers, the watering, the pruning, the mulching, the terracing, and that plant disappointed you? Even when it came from a bad seed, it would try to be better than what it came from. So, yeah, I would think, like Alan said, you try watering and see what will happen. And Dina says maybe you get to navigate through tribes and you may feel good if you have all tribes. There is a thing about tribes. I don't know where you're watching from, yeah, Abdul, or where you're from, but in our country, Uganda, there are so many tribes. And these tribes, trust me, have all kinds of people. There are things that are known about these different tribes. Some are known to be brilliant. Some are known to, you know, be brilliant after 45 years. So, and others are known to be different things. So you can try, like Dina has said, and see how that goes. Otherwise, Roger says, Mommy, sorry for my absence today. I'm tired. I spent all the day traveling for nothing. Oh, were you going off for Good Friday or was it work? Were you out to meet one of those polygamous women you have with? Rogers, it's okay. But thank you so much for tuning in. You made it a point of coming in. I have at least seen you, though I didn't see Lydian, so I'm wondering, did she get tired? Did she also travel off to nothing? Welcome back, Rogers, and thank you for the topic of discussion. You're the one who brought polygamy as a topic of discussion for today. And thank you for being a good sport. Abdul says, let me tell you that one man has suffered in having children from one woman, but one he got from what they call outside is doing well. That is very true. Very, very true. And I agree with you on that one. But that doesn't mean a mistake or something that happened unintentionally is what we should do intentionally. Yeah. Some people say like in the Bible there's a man who had children out of marriage, and then had one. He was called he had one outside marriage, and then the father died, and the children of the born out of wedlock sent away the other one who was born outside marriage. And once he was called, I think, Jephthah, I think, they sent him away. But then later they came looking for him, asking him to be their leader. But that was not that their father had gone out and got him intentionally. He wasn't, their father did not go out and get him with an intention of, let me have one outside so that this one may be successful or may be brilliant. Those things happen. And it is because of the injustice that God permits them. And these children turn out different, turn out brilliant, or it's not to all of them. There are those who have been born outside marriage and really have grasped. Because I guess men like you, Abdul, choose to go and step out intentionally with an intention to have a better seed out there. And God just does it intentionally to show you that He's the one behind what is born and what comes out brilliant. So don't go out there intentionally to get someone, yeah, because it may not work out. You may have problems outside, like the one you give birth outside becomes this thorn that constantly pierces on your children and tears your family up when you're not here, or even when you're here. Because David had many women, and among those, he had many children. Yeah, remember the story. He had many children because he had many women. And to the point that one of the sons slept with his woman. Now, is that a good thing? Is that a good seed? I don't know why he had these women, but whatever reason he had, that he had them, I don't think it was to have different seeds, a variety of species out there. I think it was something else. Because maybe he wanted to prove, since he was a king, like you said, he had money, and he had many eggs laid out there that hatched. And Roger says, no, today I was supposed to be off, but we traveled from Sharjah to Dubai. That's why I get tired. Oh, you should send us some of those dirhams, Rogers. Otherwise, it's okay if you're tired and you need to go off and rest. Thank you so much for keeping it here all the time. Every Friday you're here. I hope you have a good Friday night, and we'll see you next time if you're not traveling. Otherwise, thank you so much for always tuning in. And back to our topic of discussion, polygamy challenges. The idea that one person can be everything, that one is also questionable. Is it possible? But is that even realistic? Jadine said, yeah, sorry, Audrey said, yes, it is possible. And we went off to saying, but polygamy, especially in traditional setups, that is emotional openness. It is emotional openness where it's like everyone will see, yeah, how your husband treats you because everyone is involved in your relationship. And I want to read what Abdul has just written. That means that having them from the women you have married legally. Let me tell you that one man has suffered in having children from one woman, but one he got from what they call outside is doing well. That means that having them from the women you have married legally. Okay, legally or illegal. Whatever your meaning, Abdul, I'm thinking you're trying to say that these women you have children with that you're not married to are okay, better than the one you're married to because that one is doing well. Sometimes it's because of the injustice this child has gone through. You didn't take care of them, and God just wants to show you that even when you are out of the picture, He took care of this person so they succeed. I think many people are live testimonies to that, where you are born out of marriage, no, outside marriage, and you have made it in life, regardless of whether your father was there or not. Many have gone through that, and life goes on. But that doesn't mean it's the way we should go. Abdul, that doesn't mean. And Roger says, but for sure we are men. We're supposed to produce from 2 or 3 women. Rogers, I think the trip to Dubai messed you up. Yeah, because now, Roger, do you want to tell me that the woman you have in Dubai, yeah, and the woman you have in Uganda, once they got to know that they are 2 or 3, would it make it easier on you? Like now it's Easter coming up, yeah? How do you manage 3 homes? How do you manage 3 ladies? I mean, we all have a list of things that we need. I could want this, and the other, and the other one wants this, and the other. How is that good for any man? I think that's why many men die early and leave the women. Many times the husbands die and the ladies live on for many years. Like my grandfather died at about 90 something, and my grandmother is clocking 100 something. She's getting to 103. And yet my grandfather died, and we're all wondering whether she could cope on her own. I think you get uncalled force pressure when you're carrying or juggling more than one woman. Rogers, come on. And Abdul says, I live in Bale City. Oh, so you understand. When we talk about polygamy, you really do understand. And the fact that you said you live in Bale City, I'm also thinking something about the Bagisu, the tribe that we have in Uganda. So you could be speaking also from a cultural perspective and also religious perspective. That is okay. But I would not, I for one, would not advocate for polygamous relationships because I know there's no one who can divide themselves that much equally and have a good relationship at the end of the day. I don't know anyone who can have that. And like I said, but polygamy, especially in traditional setups, it can lead to emotional openness where everyone gets to know that really, that's why it's so easy. Some people just even find it easy to get interested in married women because they know they are somewhere somehow deprived. Yeah. So because of that, they try their luck with them, and sometimes they are successful. I'm just going to change my mic so that we don't uh, get off abrupt like we did before. So that is done. I'm sorry about any sounds that were not pleasant. Otherwise, whether you agree with it or not, polygamy forces us to ask, what is love? Like, Dina said something about love. Polygamy causes us to ask, what is love really about? Is it ownership? Polygamous living. Is it about ownership? Is it about commitment, sacrifice, or freedom? It's a question that lingers behind everyone's mind. What is it about? Is it about openness? Is it about ownership, commitment, freedom? What is it? Do you people do it who are practicing it because you feel free to do it? Because you want to own these ladies and count them as part of your property or possession? Is it because you want all these women to feel, to be committed to you? Do you do it because you like to be a sacrifice? Because they will tear you up left, right, and center, like it or not, at some point with their demands. Yeah. In the end, love is a choice every day with every person involved. Love is a choice. I don't know what Dina said, but everyday life, love is a choice. You choose to love. Every day you choose to love. Every day with every person involved, whether it's the person who is polygamous, whether it's not, it's a monogamous relationship, whether you're in a monogamous or polygamous setup. The real work is emotional honesty, where you are honest with each other emotionally. You let me know why you're getting someone else. And then once you do that, then I can relate with you. And if you don't, then I get to know you're tired of me. Abdul says, ha ha ha. And Abdul says, reducing street girls. Is that the reason you're going? Abdul, don't make me laugh. You want to reduce on the street girls, so that's why you go for, polygamy. Well, that's your take. But there's no man assigned to all the women out there. Everyone, I believe, has a missing piece out there. Everyone, every one of us has someone created for you, so that when we meet each other, we make this nice blend and we just fit right with each other. But if we do not find the right person and we get each other because of other reasons, we'll be like this fitting, a fitting that doesn't fit right. It doesn't fit, but we are forcing it to, and it won't work out at the end. I think as well that monogamy or polygamy setup, the real work is emotional. It's honesty. You have to be emotionally involved. You have to be honest with that person that you're with. Like you tell them what works for you and what doesn't, so that they get into this knowing and prepared mentally and physically for whatever it is that would come their way. Another one would be respect and communication. Every relationship would require respect. You need to respect me even as you're going your way, choosing to be monogamous or choosing to be polygamous. You need to be respectful. Also, communication. You need to communicate. Let me know where I've fallen short, that I'm about to push you into the arms of another person. That way, we work out our relationships together. I also wanted to know in the comments, because it's a live chat, whether what you think about polygamy. Is it something that you would go for? Dina, is polygamy the kind of thing that you'd go for? Treasure, is polygamy the kind of thing that you'd go for? Audrey, is it polygamy kind of thing that you could go for? Today I've not heard from Jasper. I don't know whether he's on. Lydian, I've not heard from you. I don't know what your take is on polygamy. And Rogers, is polygamy the kind of thing that you'd go for? I know you're tired and you need to go and rest, but uh, I know the trip to Dubai wore you out. But I also have a clue as to what you'd want. You would want polygamy, really. It works for you because you said we are men. We should have, one or two or three women. I don't know why that would be a good excuse for every man out there. But also, Alan, I needed to know whether polygamy is something that you can go for. And Rogers and Abdul, with Abdul, I already know because it's a religious thing and culture thing as well. So good luck on that one if you choose to go for it, if you're not already in it. I just wanted to know whether anyone has seen polygamy work. Has anyone seen polygamy work and things have really worked out really well? There is a time that we had in Uganda, they introduced the thing of DNA. Oh my goodness, that thing blew up papers where ladies had to be checked out with their kids to see if those kids really belong to the men. And there is this, as we try and conclude, Hajj that got, he had 10 children. And then one of them really fell sick. He had married off some of the 10 kids. And Jasper says, I feel like polygamy puts a big burden on the man's shoulder. That is very true. It is very true. One can only choose so much. Can you imagine when you're eating food and you put all that they've served you in your mouth in one go? It would choke you if it at all enters anyway. But if you put one, yeah, and put one at a time, oh my goodness, the food goes down easily as opposed to when you put everything, open up and just, put everything. You'll not even chew it very well and it would choke you if at all it enters. It would create a big mess. So that's how I see polygamy. Having all these people in your life in one go, they will just cause mess and choke you up as opposed to one person at a time and then try and work it out with them and see how far you go with them. That is what I would think on monogamy. I wanted also to know if you know anyone where it worked. Like I was saying, there's this man who had during the saga of DNA. This man had 10 children he was proud of. Some had married off, others were at university, and there was a 1 year and a half old at home. But then the one who was at university got sick, and the father was called. So that he took him to the hospital. They said they needed a transfusion. They needed a lot of things done to the boy. And when the father heard all that, he was like, I'm the dad. Test anything you want to test with me. It's okay. I'm a match. And when they checked, it turned out that he could not even have children. He couldn't have been the dad of that boy. So he went home and called Hajat and told Hajat to come. And Jasper, it's okay if you stay quiet and you just pass. It's very okay. Otherwise, they told Haji called Hajat at home and said, come home immediately, close up the shop and come and let me know. We need to talk. And Hajat just knew the boy was sick. Things must have showed up. So the person at the hospital called Hajat and said, this is what transpired. Haj is furious. You need to be prepared. So what the lady did was, before I come home, call the sheikh, call your brother, he called another man who is his best friend to come at home. And then Haji asked, who is the father of this boy? And Hajat said, it is your brother. And then he said, and who is it is your brother. because he had 10 kids, and who is the father of it? It's the sheikh. Who is the father of this one? It's the your best friend. And he said, among all these kids, who is mine? And Hajjati said, the last born, who is 1 year and a half. And the man had taken all these kids through school, paying tuition and all the expenses. Now, when you think about it, you wonder. Hajj was really furious, and he still doubted whether the last born was his. You wonder, when did she get the time to have all these kids when Haji was there and playing his part? So really, there's a lot of betrayal, there's a lot of mess in polygamous relationships. But again, feel free to go for them if they are your cup of tea and if they work for you. Abdul and Rogers. Rogers said something, I want to read it. For me, I support polygamy because I need to get different children from different women. I would do polygamy for sure. Musawo wange, be aware for that. Oh, Rogers, the good thing you're in Dubai. You're away from home where all this can't happen. At least not right away. By the time you come back, you'll be probably of a different mindset. So I'm hoping things will change up by the time you come home. Otherwise, I wanted to know from those of you who are still watching whether you've seen polygamy work. Have you seen it work? Would you ever consider polygamy? I need to hear from Dina whether she would ever consider polygamy, and other men who have been tuning in and who have been listening. And by the way, guys, if you feel you've had a good chat on this channel, go ahead. Don't forget to like. Yeah, go on and hit that like button, share and subscribe. If you want more real conversations about love and relationships and anything in between, yeah, you try and keep it right here next Friday. You will be surprised that to the topic that we'll be discussing next Friday. Otherwise, you have been amazing. All of you that have tuned in, Dina, Alan, Audrey, Jemima, Jasper, Rogers, Abdul, you've been a great sport. And we missed you, Lillian. We missed you, Ingenia, Lawyer, and Socialist. We missed you as well. Otherwise, guys, go ahead and give me your comments. What you think of polygamy? Have you seen any stories that you have had? Have you seen any polygamous relationships succeed? Or is it only just the bad stories that we have where it is known these relationships fail and they don't lead to anything? Because again, you can tell us of the stories of those people who have been together in polygamous relationships and had children that are not dull, that are brilliant and successful. Unlike what Abdul was telling us, where he doesn't want to give birth to stupid and dull children. That was a good one, Abdul. Thank you so much. You guys have been a very good sport. And I would like to know in the comments what topic you would want us to discuss next Friday. Otherwise, Easter is coming up. For sure, Lillian missed today's topic. She did miss, for real. She missed today's topic and she was so much for it. I don't know whether she got wind that you would not be around, Rogers, or you would be late. So she also delayed. I don't know whether she got wind of you. She missed today's topic for sure. And I want to also know in the comments what topic you would want us to discuss next Friday so that we can discuss that one. Otherwise, Easter is coming up. Guys, happy Easter. Abdul, happy Easter. Whichever way you choose to celebrate it. And for the rest of you guys who are on here that are Christians, a happy Holy Weekend that is ahead of us. I wish you a happy Holy Weekend, a good Holy Saturday, good Easter Monday and Easter Sunday. And I'm waiting for the topic of discussion. Rogers, if you can drop it in the comments, or Dina, the topic that you would want us to discuss next Saturday. Remember, the thing is, we dive deep into love, relationships, and everything in between. So, really, anything can be discussed on here. And Abdul says, my wife has been waiting and now she's asleep. So let me go to her. Thank you so much, Abdul, for tuning in. And guys, until next time, when we make yet, when we tune in on Friday, not only Abdul wants to go to bed, Roger said he wants to sleep. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you next Friday. Don't forget in the comments to drop the topic of discussion for next time. Otherwise, bye bye, guys, and take care.